Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. You got to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday to do some crypto TA. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. It kind of feels weird. It doesn't feel like a Monday for some reason. I don't know why. I was thinking it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, but today is 30 minutes ago, DeSantis accuses Biden of war on Bitcoin. You have my vote. I will vote for any political faction that sides with crypto. Yeah, guys, we got 5 days this week like we always do for the live videos to do TA. You know, originally, drop me a comment. Let me know who's in the live stream this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, whatever it is in your time zone. Whether you're in Australia, Singapore, South Africa, you're in Ireland, or the United States of America, let me know. But you know, originally I was going to do the live stream at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get those monthly closes. That was until I could not fall asleep last night. I don't know what the issue was, but didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I'm going to be going to bed early tonight. So what we're going to do, we're going to reconfigure today's live stream, okay? And I think I might cover a few alts here that I have up, but really I think the most beneficial thing to do would be to look at a few of these major charts on the 2-week, because we had 2-week candlestick closes. So we can focus today's live stream on really 2-week candlestick charts, okay? And I'll focus on many of the majors like your Bitcoins, your total caps, and all that. We'll take a look at a few alts. And then what we'll do tomorrow's focal point will be the monthly closes. Because again, where there's enough price data warranted, really critical that we're getting another monthly close. I will say we're closing on a womp note. Not a lot of excitement, I will say. It is challenging as a content creator to keep you guys engaged, but I do feel a sense of responsibility to keep you engaged, because I feel like if I don't keep you engaged and informed, I'm not doing my part in terms of sharing where I see the market is at. And I think, you know, there's a heightened likelihood that you could miss out on some of these moves that are going to come in sooner rather than later. So we just have to remain patient. Who is tuning in this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are at in this world? I would like to hear from you. We'll see how much time we have today for some crypto TA Q&A. One of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to give a quick shout out to anyone tuning in right now from two communities. I have a couple more videos coming out this week that I announced, but I announced Kathleen, welcome in. I released a video on Quant. We're going to take a quick look at Quant since that video was released. That was just released on Saturday. Got a really good, it's done very well, at least for my channel. It's gotten a solid amount of views since Saturday. I've gotten some good feedback on it. So check out that Quant video if you haven't. You know, we'll quick take a look at it, but it's been consolidating for over 280 days, and it looks like it's just broken out. And in my opinion, we should see substantial upside in the coming weeks here. And then I was kind of blown away by the Caspa community. Put out a video. It was just released at midnight today. It's already, I already have, you know, for my channel, guys, you can look at how small my channel is right now. I have just over 2,500 subscribers. This video has already, you know, almost 1,500 views. It's done very well. So I would encourage you to check it out. I want to choose my words carefully here, but when I was thinking about it, and this is why that's the first video I've put out on Caspa. It's the first but not the last. I believe, and I want to, again, choose my words carefully here, but I think from a technology standpoint, we typically always cover technicals here, but I think from a technology fundamental perspective, it's perhaps the most excited I've been from a technological standpoint since Hedera Hashgraph, since HBAR. So really excited about the fundamentals, really excited about the chart. Great to get that video out there to you guys. I think Caspa has a lot of potential. which I share in that video, and I will further get into in more videos moving forward. So appreciate the Caspa community showing me some love and support on that video. Feel free to share in Discord and on both Quan and on Caspa if you can. All right, so the chart we're going to start off with here, guys, we generally start off with this chart each and every single time. You can see the way the markets are moving today. You know, I had considered touching on traditional markets today, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow, because if you caught my tweet, if you're following me on Twitter at Crypto Bull Guy, which, by the way, you can find me on YouTube, obviously. You can also find me, thank you for the support. I'm at 13,800 followers. You can also find me on Instagram if you're into the gym or you need some motivation to pick yourself up and get going and active in life, which I think is important. You can find me on TradingView. It is one word, Crypto Bull Guy. But I had tweeted out earlier today that literally we are so close to creating new all-time highs in traditional markets, whether you look at the Dow Jones, which looks beautiful, the S&P or the NASDAQ, and you still have doomsdayers out there that have been spelling for a disastrous move in the markets in 2022. They were calling for this year. These same people are still thinking that new all-time highs are not going to come in the stock market. I don't know what the fuck chart they were looking at, but every chart I'm looking at looks like it is primed to have blue sky breakouts and have new all-time highs this year, just like I had denoted mid to late last year. And I want to save the review of the traditional markets for tomorrow, because we're going to have monthly closes there, and so we'll take a look at all three of these: the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones tomorrow. But let's start off with the 12-hour chart here. Again, it's challenging to keep you guys engaged. Let me know if you like the dark theme here. Kind of switched off to the dark theme just for purposes of this chart. We're in this orange box of consolidation, guys. Nothing. Greg, good to see you, Black Oil. Nothing really has changed. Nothing has changed. We're just going sideways chop. I could regurgitate the same lines I've said to you before, but if you've tuned in prior live streams, you know how I feel. There are charts out there that I know Tony shared last week. There's some additional charts floating around that other value-added technicians have shared in the space. Whether you're looking at Bitcoin, whether you're looking at Ethereum, whether you're looking at the total market cap, those Bollinger Bands are really compressed, okay? And I cannot tell you enough, and given the low volatility that exists in the market, there's going to be a we are at historic levels. Just gave a shout out to Tony the Crypto Bull, the Bitcoin Bull, who was on last week. I just gave a shout out for his newsletter. You guys need to check his newsletter out, by the way. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the second newsletter that I've read, his Coin Chartist newsletter here. Excellent newsletter. Make sure you view this tweet, view the key points. I clearly lay out why I find his newsletter valuable. Make sure you check it out. But what he points out in that newsletter, too, is that we are at historic levels in terms of low levels, the level of volatility and the level of compression that exists in those Bollinger Bands. It's not a guarantee that we're going to see a spring movement up, but I can tell you that what it does tell us with a high degree of conviction is we're either going to see a large pop up or a large pop down. And you know the way I heavily lean. So, and by a large pop up, you guys know how I feel once that roughly $32,000 area is broken. To me, it's an immediate 10% move to the 10% plus move to the upside towards 35,500 plus. So I've been here long enough. Okay, I haven't been here since 2013, but I've been invested since 2018. I've been invested for now 5.5 years, okay, in this market. I have seen the days where Bitcoin is up well over 10%. You just witnessed XRP and XLM up 100% in one day. If you think that, if you're new here and you think that's significant price action in the market, you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. Wait until Bitcoin starts breaking out towards that $40,000, $50,000 mark, and it starts breaking its all-time high of 69,000 this year, 69,000 later this year, which is what I believe. Let's start getting into some higher time frames here. I said that I wanted to cover the 2-week chart. Let's take a look at Bitcoin first and have an assessment of what is going on here. I have so many charts. I wish there was some AI program I could have go through here and just clean up all my charts. This is kind of distracting now. We're going to get off. Yeah, we're going to get off that. Okay. All right. So this is the weekly chart, but we're going to go to a 2-week chart. By the way, on the weekly, real quick before we flip to a 2-week chart, you can see we're just consolidating in this red zone of resistance. I mean, I could make this red green. At this point, we need it to break out for it to be green, but heavy area of resistance here. We're just consolidating in there, which is good to see. Now, if we flip to a 2-week, guys, and please hear what I'm saying here, and I think you guys know this by now for those of you who have tuned in for a while, but as boring as this market is right now, guys, it is imperative that you understand what's going on these higher time frames, okay? So I think tuning into a live stream where even if the market is dull and boring, having an understanding of what is going on these higher time frames, like a 2-week chart, is very critical to your success in this market, to your understanding about what's going on. That way you're not surprised when there's a massive move up, okay? We had this inverse head and shoulders that we've been charting for a while now. Since then, we broke out with this candlestick, and we've just been consolidating in this area. If we go to our price indicators, I mean, what do I want to flip on here? Maybe some moving averages would actually be helpful. I haven't really assessed moving averages on here in a long time. You know, in assessing moving averages on a 2-week chart, actually, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's focus on price indicators. You can see that the MACD, the histogram on the 2-week is kind of dying down a little bit on the bullish narrative here. It's not as dark green. That's just the low volatile environment that we're in right now. That'll quickly change if we do see that pump to the upside. But the MACD is still healthy. We're above zero and we have a positive cross. RSI is at a fairly neutral bullish level. Neutral, I would call it neutral level at 55. And stochastic RSI looks perfectly fine. I actually want to take a look with you guys. This is the first time I'm looking at this with you. Not that I haven't evaluated this before, but it's certainly been a long time. This is a 2-week chart, and as you can see, the 20 is below the 50. We need this 20 orange simple moving average to cross above the 50. This thing's going to continue to print higher. Now, we want price action ultimately to get above our 50 simple moving average on a 2-week chart, because what that's going to allow us to do, not only will the 20 simple moving average continue to move up at an increased rate to get that bullish cross, but it's going to help to flatten out this 50 simple moving average and have it curl up. You guys can see in times past, we've had this rise in price. We've had the 20 above the 50, it looks like, in all cases. Of course, there's limited price data here. There's really only been two pumps to go off based off of that. But you can see this rise in price here and this rise in price here. Each time the 20 was above the 50, right? So we really want to see that 20 get above the 50. When could that 20 get above the 50 on the 2-week? Reasonably so. I mean, if we kind of just sketch this out here, I don't need some fancy indicator tool. I don't need to charge you guys money so you can get access to my golden cross indicator. Fuck that. You should be able to chart this out and use some level-headed common sense here. So depending on the state of the market and how quickly we see a move up, you know, and this line's coming in here, you know, we could see a cross right around this time frame here, sometime between November, October. We could see a golden, I don't know that you would call that a golden cross, but the 20 cross above the 50, which would be good to see. That's on the 2-week. Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I definitely want to take a look at XRP as well. Okay, this is Ethereum on the 2-week. And this is something we have spoken about before. Again, I think Ethereum, we're going to take a look at the Ethereum BTC chart. And I'm considering putting out a video speaking to Ethereum and my views in 2024 on the prospects of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. Yes, I said, and I brought this up on the channel, yes, Ethereum flipping Bitcoin by 2024. I want to have a conversation about that. But for now, what we can see here is this really is, and we had the conversation that, yeah, you could draw this as a bear flag, but I think it's very unreasonable to assume Ethereum is going to have some sort of crash down to $300. So really what we have here is an ascending triangle. We have a flat top, an ascending and an ascending line. You see this price pattern? Flat top, and we continue coming down to this trend line. The rough target here brings us up to, near $4,500, $4,500. We're sitting at $1,800. Guys, I do remember 2021, the early part of 2021, actually the late part of 2020, I think, going into 2021. I remember picking up Ethereum at insane low valuations right before it started massively running. When this thing moves, this thing moves. It's funny because, again, market psychology, a lot of people, I see these clickbaity YouTube thumbnails out there and people talking about this on channels because I really like to keep a pulse on the market. There are some channels sometimes that I'll watch where I may not, and I think I've shared this on this channel, but sometimes I'll tune in from time to time on different channels where I may not necessarily even respect or have a whole lot of love for the person who's hosting the channel, but it's really to get a gauge on the market where everybody's market sentiment is at. Most of the channels I tune into regularly, I have a ton of respect for the content creators, but sometimes every now and then I tune into other channels too. But regardless, it's interesting. Some of the chatter I hear about, Ethereum is dead and it's slow and all these projects are going to overtake it just because it's been consolidating. When this thing moves, it's going to steal the show. It's done it before. History says it'll most likely do it again. Now, history doesn't need to repeat, but it often rhymes. When Ethereum moves, it's going to fucking move, okay? On a 2-week candlestick closing basis, let's see what we have with price indicators. You can see on the MACD what I like to see beyond the positive cross here. We're above zero, which is great. Anytime we've had major impulses in the market, we need this MACD to be above zero, which is good to see. RSI looks like it's hanging out at 51. Relatively neutral level. Stochastic RSI looks fine. So really, for me, for Ethereum, the punchline is you want to see volume come in, okay? That volume precedes price, right? It was kind of like I had a bull pennant drawn out for Caspa today. We can take a quick look at it. I had a bull pennant drawn for Caspa today, but I don't know that the volume came in. For some reason, the volume indicator isn't coming up. But to me, the volume likely didn't come in, and I reshaped the bull pennant to still be a valid bull pennant based on the emerging price data. It looks like we haven't broken out from that bull pennant, which I can show you. In this case, for the ascending triangle, if we have some weak volume come up here and get above this line, which is at roughly $2,040, that to me isn't going to be a sign that we're going to get a breakout. We need to see volume come in when it breaks 2,040. Once volume comes in and we break 2,040, 2,200 is on deck. Once 2,200 breaks, 2,500 will come quick, in my opinion, and 2,800 will come quick. The point of the conversation is when this line around 2,040 breaks with volume and conviction, I believe the following 3 areas of resistance will come very quickly for Ethereum. 2,200, 2,500, 2,800. Mark my words, we will come back and have a conversation about this when it starts to break out. Ugos, glad to see you in here, man. I haven't seen you in a little while. All the days kind of bleed together, so I feel like I haven't seen you in a bit, so it's nice to see you. Yeah, facts over feelings. By the way, if there's anybody new in the live stream that is joining from the Caspa community, I would really appreciate knowing because I like I said, I appreciated the support. If you guys want to take a quick look at Caspa, we can. Let's take a quick look at Caspa and I'll show you what I have drawn out here. So based on this price data, I still see wow, this is pressing right up against it. How much are we up right now? 3%? Yeah, 3.6%. Yeah, this could kind of go either way, guys. This is just called being a realist in charting, okay? It's not a cop-out to say this could go either way. We just have to wait for price to confirm the direction that it wants to go. Now, as you know, in the TA video that I had made, I found it for reasons stated most likely that we get some healthy pullback here. It doesn't look to me, and I also stated that it may not happen. I mean, that's just, there are no certainties in charting. All we do is try to come up with these probabilistic statements, right? To me right now, it does not look like we're going to come down to this level at the moment. To me, it looks like we're going to continue pushing higher, which, I mean, is fine by me. I was hoping to get in at cheaper valuations because I want to accumulate more, but I'm not going to be sad if price just begins to take off. Anyway, where I was going with that, and I accidentally deleted this, is I retooled the bull pennant on Caspa based on the most recent price data here. And you can see this is on a 12-hour chart. What I like about this, maybe I'll get a little bit more cute. You can only get so cute. You can see we're pressed right up against there. Now, what I like about the way that this pennant is formed here, we have 3 touches here, we have a touch here, and we have 2 touches here. I'm drawing this as conservative at the moment as possible on the downward trend line here. You can see we have a wick right here. We have a wick here, here, and here touches. So what I'm saying for Caspa is there's really there's really 4 scenarios if I really drew them all out. The most bullish scenario is that we just start to begin to break out, and this bull pennant, the rough target up here towards about 8 cents plays out. The second scenario is we have a fake out. It kind of comes up here, maybe it double tops and then rolls over, consolidates, and then continues to go up. That's scenario 2. Scenario 3 is we just continue to further consolidate in this area, which if we came down, we could wick below here. Again, these are the important thing is candle body closes remain up here. We can wick all the way down here and I could give 2 shits less, right? Because the wicks express volatility, as I always say. But so we could come down to this level, maybe around 3.5 cents again, 3.6 cents, maybe come down here and then eventually break out, or the bull pennant just fails and we just continue to come down here. Those are really all 4 scenarios that could play out in the chart. To me, the way this is setting up right now, it would not shock me one bit, especially if the market makes a major move this week. It would not shock me one bit to see a major move in Caspa pushing it up towards that 7 to 8 cent area. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. We never get our pullback to this 2.5 to 3 cent area. Wouldn't shock me one bit. Getting back to some other charts here, before we cover some other, and thumbs up to everyone new tuning in, I would appreciate the support. You can hide the comments. You can also let me know if you're new to the channel. I would appreciate that. And I just like knowing who's actually watching. I'm often incognito when I'm watching live streams, but I always appreciate knowing who my audience is. So if you want to give me a shout out, feel free to drop a comment. But hitting the thumbs up also helps me as a content creator as well. Before we get into some, the total market cap and some of those charts in XRP, let's take a look at a few smaller altcoins and kind of assess some price action going on. I'm not really following a lot of the intricacies about what's going on with CRV, but I do see some very bearish price action coming in here. You can see we've seen a significant drop on volume come in here on the daily. On the weekly, if you're a holder of CRV, I'll show you some areas of price confluence I'd really like to see hold up. There's a green area of support around 51 cents. There's another, really then there's a zone. We wicked all the way down here. Looks like we wicked all the way down to essentially 40 cents. So really for CRV, what I just would not want to see is to lose this 51 to 43 cent area. If we start to lose 43 cents, as an investor in CRV, if I owned CRV, which I don't, and we started to break 43 cents, that's the only area that I would truly become concerned. Because why do I say that? We bottomed here in November at 43 cents. If we drop below 43 cents, let's say we go down to 25 cents. Well, now we're creating a new low. What's to say we couldn't come up, create a descending area of resistance here, and then just drop lower, right? So you don't want to run those odds. You don't want to run those risks. You don't want to build that bearish structure. You don't want the lower lows and lower highs coming in. You want to build higher highs and higher lows. So even if we came down to here at 51 cents or 43 cents and we double bottomed, we've spoken about a lot of altcoins double bottoming relative to their 2022 lows, right? Okay, that's not overly concerning to me because we can still build a higher high in relation to here. Now we got a double bottom or a higher low, and now we got some higher highs coming in, right? So nothing concerning there. So just a quick update on CRV. Let's take a look at ACH. I think this is one that when it moves, it moves. And I own a significant amount of ACH, Alchemy Pay. This is in a massive falling wedge. And the other thing I just quickly wanted to point out to you is you can see the bullish divergence here. We can look on multiple time frames. I had tweeted out real quick yesterday a few charts I was looking at. Sometimes I do that. On Twitter, most of the time, I will provide a supporting, I would say 90 this is the actuary in me. I have to be accurate with the statistics. 97% of the time, it's probably even higher than that, but 97% of the time, I will chart out a supporting chart with the comments on that said token. In this case, I looked at a chart and quick tweeted something out, and what I said is there are multiple time frames showing bullish divergence on Alchemy Pay. So not only do you have a bull flag / falling wedge here, but you also have the RSI increasing in value. It's also compressed in a pennant formation here, while the price is declining in value, right? This, and I feel like I just spoke to this on Friday. There are commonalities in trade setups. Now, Alchemy Pay is not a trade setup for me, it's an investment, but there are a couple commonalities I look for in a chart for just a trade setup. So if you're interested in taking a trade here, never financial advice on this channel. Can't stress it enough. Don't need the SEC coming after me. But if I was looking for a trade setup, two of the things that I love to see for a trade setup, falling wedges. I love playing falling wedges, and I love bullish divergence on the RSI. To me, this is an awesome trade setup. You know, if I entered a trade hypothetically here, the way I would play it as a trader personally is, let's see, what's our downside risk here? It's all about risk to reward. Where the hell is the... Here we go. So to the downside... Okay. So typically when you want to enter a trade, you want your risk to reward to be like 4-to-1, maybe as low as 3-to-1. So if I entered a trade right now, I would probably put in a stop right below this line, which is at... I have an area of price confluence right here. It's at 1.6933 cents, right? So probably what I would do is I would put in a stop loss at 1.679 cents. Okay, you never put buy limit, sell limit orders right in an exact target. That's a noob thing to do. You got to front run things. So I'd put my stop in at that level, and then what I would do is I would play it to the upside, maybe go to some lower time frames and ride a moving average. Look for areas of price confluence up here. You know, we can see we have an area of price confluence maybe around like, you know, you want to at least get 3 to 4 times. So if we were looking for 4 on the upside, 28%. Oh yeah, that brings us right up here. That's actually perfect. You can see the price wicks here, you know, maybe take some off around 2.3 cents and then just continue riding it up on maybe some lower time frame moving averages like a 4-hour time frame or 6 or 12-hour time frame. Of course, there's another area of price confluence. It looks here about 2.6 cents, and I would just keep scaling out as we continue to go up if I was trading this, which I'm not. So Alchemy looks like a good trade setup. I wanted to bring up Alethea AI. We haven't talked about this one in a while. This is another one I created a TA video about. We broke out of this massive falling wedge / bull pennant, and we've just stagnated, right? The one thing I want to bring to your attention, okay? Not financial advice. This could go to 0. Any project could go to 0. Just want to say that, okay? But to me, when I look at this, I'll tell you what I see. I see a ridiculous amount of time of accumulation, a correction / accumulation right here, okay? Once we sort of looked like we had bottomed, we went through like 161 days, right? And then all of a sudden, in the span of 32 days, look at how far we appreciated in price, right? We went up from under 1 cent all the way up to 16 cents. We did a 16x, okay, in 32 days. Now what's going on is we've been in a period of consolidation. I'll just start it right there. We've been in a period of consolidation for 168 days. Guys, another strong movement up, whether it starts in August, whether it starts in September. All you need, these 36 days, again, my initial targets for this thing are up to 26 to 41 cents, which I believe I covered in the TA video. This thing is not going to move smoothly up like Bitcoin, Ethereum, even XRP, right? It's not going to have small, nice, stable price movements up. This thing is quick and rapid, and you have to be aggressive with your risk-taking strategy, profit-taking strategy, depending if you're an investor or trader with this. But I think this thing is just providing an ample opportunity to get in at what will be suppressed price levels, ultimately where this thing I view will top out. Again, the last thing I would keep in mind with this, we're consolidating at this area. We're all the way above all this bullshit, right? In fact, you could draw another area of price confluence, which I probably should, right literally there. Are we above there? We are. So, okay, that's awesome. So all of this price confluence, you see all this bullshit, we're way up here now. We're above it. That is very bullish. Even though it might feel painful as an investor, or if you were buying up in this area, we are consolidating above all of this bullshit here. Very bullish. Last one I want to take a look at is the video I created on Saturday. Then we're going to get to some other high-level charts that I think are important to take a look at. Bullish divergence. That guy is pointing out some bullish divergence in the RSI, 2-week on CRV. Nice call out. Didn't look at that, but I will take your word for it. Love the bullish divergences. Thank you for calling that out, that guy. Guys, you can watch the video. I don't want to regurgitate the video. Go watch the quant video if you haven't seen it. Point is, we have just broken out from a massive downtrend here. Just broke out from the massive downtrend. You can see it. Would not shock me one bit to come all the way down here to maybe 104. Why do I say that? How many times on this channel have I said when you break out of downward resistance, it's often times it oftentimes occurs in charts that you come down and you back test it as support before springboarding off of it and continuing to move higher. So I can see us coming down all the way to 104 before continuing a journey up. But again, I see much higher price targets up here. The other thing I wanted to call out real quick, it's in the video, but we have more current price data, so I at least want to take a look at it. Look at this quant BTC relativity chart. We've just broken out of this, and I pointed to the similarities in terms of the times of consolidation here. We've just broken out of this massive downturn on the quant BTC relativity chart. Last time we broke out, we saw this stair-step price action up and then a sharp volatile move up. Will we see something? I say yes. There's no guarantee. There's absolutely no guarantee. I'm just pointing it out to you. It looks way too similar to me. All right, let's get into some other charts here, and let's close some of these out just so it's easier to, things are condensed down here. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to take a look at, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Now, I think it was the total. I guess I'll find out. Maybe I have to take a look at his formation again. Do I have that up? How did he have this drawn? Because I'm not seeing it right away. Let's see. I want to point you out something in the chart, and I'm not going to show you Tony's newsletter, but I'm going to give Tony credit. How does he have this thing drawn, and what the hell do I have drawn here? Oh, I see. Well, we're going to take this off for the moment just so it's not distracting, and then I can undo this. So what Tony was pointing out here was an inverse head and shoulders, and I want to make sure that, okay, so I see what he's doing. So what he's drawing, so I give Tony the credit for pointing this out. I don't think I've pointed this out before. Maybe I did, but I don't know that I have. And I want to make sure to give him credit because he's the one that pointed it out, not me. So basically, yeah. So you got your shoulder here, you got your head here, up here. Yeah, right shoulder. Okay. Yeah, no, I follow. So this is an inverse head and shoulders. No, I agree with him. So take out some of that volatility wick so you can see it a little bit clearer. So an inverse head and shoulders. What is an inverse head and shoulders? And let me get back to the live stream so I can see you guys. So this area here, well, first off, let's kind of start with the basics here. A head and shoulders. Most people have heard of a head and shoulders, right? You guys have heard of a head and shoulders. It's a bearish pattern, right? You got the head, and you got the two shoulders. It's very bearish. It's a topping signal, and it has a high statistical likelihood of breaking down. It's not a certainty. A head and shoulders pattern could be invalidated and continue moving up. Well, what do you think an inverse head and shoulders is? I mean, the name implies it's the inverse concept, right? The inverse relationship. So an inverse head and shoulders is bullish. So in this case, we have our head right here, our left shoulder, and our right shoulder. And the way that you draw the target, very, very simple. And one last time, I want to give credit to Tony for pointing this out. This is one benefit to being a subscriber to his Queen Chartist newsletter, which I am a subscriber of. It's great. Like I said, I'm only two-thirds of the way through the newsletter, and I already felt like he provided plenty of content for a weekly review. Awesome content. So the target I'm coming up with, maybe I'd be a little bit more conservative. I'm coming up with a target of around 1.9 trillion. That's my target. So, and I forget what his target was. I'm not sure if it was similar or not. I think it may have been. I don't know. But that is my target for the inverse head and shoulders here. So that's the first thing I wanted to point out. Let me hopefully can undo all of that. All right. So now on a 2-week chart on the total crypto market cap, let's have a look at what price action is doing right now. Well, clearly, there has to be a better chart than this. This is bullshit right here. This is really... All right, here we go. This was for a video, and this is just annoying me. Yes, this is the chart we've typically looked at on this live stream. It's funny looking at YouTube Studio because I can see myself in instant replay doing all this bullshit with my hands. It's the Italian in me. Yeah. Catalyst, thank you for the comments here. What do we got going on with Ape? Where the hell is Ape at? I have it on here somewhere. Ape is down 3%. Not really sure why you want me to check Ape unless this is a TA question, unless you have a TA question on it. Yeah, we can take a look at it. I'll have time to do that with you. Absolutely. One of the things we've been covering on this live stream pretty consistently is that we have major areas of resistance here we haven't gotten above. And I kind of tried to display it here pretty clearly by showing, hey, back in time in the blue circles, when we broke above it, we stayed above it. When we've gotten it below these areas, they've acted as major areas of resistance. Maybe I could more clearly display the red zone of resistance I'm talking about. This really now is our red zone of resistance. This is not a golden pocket buy zone, as I commonly do. This is a red zone of resistance. So this is really the area we need to break above. Things aren't going to get exciting until we break above there. That's really our red zone, and you can see it's upwards of 1.34 trillion. Now, taking it back to our earlier conversation, that inverse head and shoulders takes us all the way past 1.34 trillion, all the way above 1.55 trillion. So really, things are not going to get spicy in this market until you see these charts begin to line up, right? There's key things you look for in Bitcoin. And as those things play out, there are key things that you'll see in the total market cap. And as the total market cap is playing out, you'll go to Ethereum and be like, oh, wow, what's going on with Ethereum? Now these key things are playing out with Ethereum. It all lines up. But really, things are not going to get juicy. Can you take a guess where I'm going to point to? Here. Now, why do I say here? Because all the juiciness in the market happened above here, right? All the way above, at and above 1.55 trillion. It's really not until we get above 1.55 trillion. And then furthermore, once we can get above, it looks like 1.8 trillion, okay? If we just draw a quick line here, chart's getting a little messy, as it often does on this channel. But if we draw a quick line there, okay, you can see that things will get even more spicy once we get above 1.8. Guys, this isn't rocket science. All I'm doing is I'm looking for areas of price confluence. And then the less candlesticks that there are above the area of price confluence, the more juicy things will get. Why is that? Because you have less price data. Like up in this area, we have less price data to battle with. We're not battling as many candlesticks, okay, as we are all the way down here. When we're all the way down here, we have all this area of price confluence to battle, all this shit to battle. Now, once we break above the orange line, it's just this stuff. There's not as much price history, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. If we go, now this is on the weekly. I apologize. I wanted to take a look at the 2 week with you. So if we go to the 2 week, just condense the price action, gives us the same sort of story. Bollinger Band. I don't want a Bollinger Band. I don't want the Bollinger Band, although prices are compressed. We already talked about the Bollinger Band. Enough Bollinger Band talk. You ever say a word so many times that it just doesn't sound right? Bollinger Band, Bollinger Band, Bollinger Band. You want to hear a funny story real quick? Let me tell you, let me look at the price indicators and then I'll share a funny story with you. I don't know, I find it funny. Sometimes the things I find funny, other people don't find funny, but we're going to find out if you find any humor in this and can relate to it. 2 week chart, looking at the price indicators, the MACD is turning up. We're about at the trigger line at 0 here. So we're getting closer and closer, which is great to see. It looks like I've identified a key area of RSI at 50. Now, I know we've had conversations. This sounds very reminiscent, very familiar to me, that 50 has been a key level in the past. And it looks like we've continued to maintain RSI levels above 50 on the 2 week chart on the total crypto market cap. That is very, very good to see. We haven't churned below it, right? Here we were at 51, we're at 52, we're at 52, 52, 51, and we're sitting at 51. Very, very good to see, because this historic area, when we've been above it, that's when the market has risen. It has risen. When we've been below it, it's been bearish. Stochastic RSI looks fine. Funny story time, and we're going to get into the total 2 and total 3. Funny story time. I don't know if you can, judging by Twitter analytics or YouTube analytics, I know that most of you tuning in are right around my age. Most of you are. So I don't know if you can remember being a kid and what it was like having summers, like summers in between schools, when school seasons, between 3rd and 4th grade or whatever. When I was very young, and I forget what age I was about 20, okay? I was not 20. It was probably between like 2nd and 3rd grade or something. I don't know why this memory sticks out to me, but this is the honest to God truth. I remember laughing to myself. I was in my bedroom, and I just, how there's these certain memories you just remember as a kid, like flashbacks. I remember I was in my room and I was laughing to myself. I was like, oh my God, like so much time has happened being off in the summer. I was away from school. I forget how to spell the word who. WHO. As a kid, I was like, well, how do you spell who? I don't know what made me think of it, but I literally forgot how to spell the word who. Just keeping shit honest on this channel. This is who you're taking charting advice from. You may want to think about that twice. All right, let's go to total 2. Total 2. Total 2 is better than total 1. And total 3 is better than total 2. You guys like Total cereal? I haven't had that in a while. It's good cereal. Good breakfast cereal. Let's get off this view. I mean, similar sort of setup here. There isn't really much distinguishing. There isn't really much difference between the total and the total 2. If you think about it, we're stripping out like 50% of the market cap for Bitcoin, but Ethereum is really overshadowing most of the market in this case. And you have your altcoins in here. There isn't a lot different commentary that I would provide relative to total. There isn't a lot different what's going on. This is point of interest 1. This is when things are really going to get juicy. When you see the total 2, by the way, if you do read charts and you're capable of pulling up a total 2 chart, once the total 2, just looking at this chart, once we are at 1 trillion on total 2. So when the entire cryptocurrency market cap, excluding Bitcoin, everything excluding Bitcoin, is at 1 trillion, that is when things are going to get very interesting in the altcoin market. Why do I say that? When we're in this area, we are above all of this bullshit. We have cleared all of this out. Goodbye. See ya. See ya. Goodbye. And the only area of price confluence that we then have, okay, the only area of price confluence that we have to fight with is this stuff. This is it. That's all we have to fight with. Just this stuff. It's not a lot. Not a lot. Not a lot. See, it's not a lot here. We've gotten through all this bullshit, okay? So not a lot of price confluence up there, which is great. Let's take a look at the price indicators. And thank you for everyone new tuning in. I would appreciate the support by hitting the thumbs up. It helps me as a content creator. I hate having to say that, but it's the honest to God truth. And if you are new to the channel, if you're part of the Caspa community, if you're part of the quant community from my recent videos, I would appreciate knowing that as well. Tried to plug the live stream on those videos a little bit, trying to get the word out that I really do come on YouTube each and every single day. It still befuddles me that I have like 14,000 followers on Twitter and only 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. But that's on me. I mean, there are things with the YouTube algorithm that I am investigating and trying to learn more about. I feel very, very, very good about the product I put out there in terms of the TA knowledge I provide. It's just a matter of really figuring out that YouTube algorithm and making it work for me. So that's on me. It's not YouTube, it's on me. Price indicators, MACD is getting closer and closer to getting above our trigger line, which is 0. Stochastic RSI looks healthy. And the RSI, we really want to see, once again, this thing get above 50. You can see we're still below 50. We're still hanging out on this RSI below 50 on the 2-week. We want to start pushing up above 50 because, again, the real magic takes place when we're above 50, right? All right, let's see what we got in the comments here. I don't even know if it's worth looking at total 3, to be honest with you. It's funny how we brain fart. Good call out, Lawrence. Haven't heard that term in a while. Yeah, that was a brain fart for sure. We can't remember a 3-letter word. Could not remember how to spell the word who as approximately an 8-year-old child. That is sad. And I actually did very well in school. I was a sort of kid, I don't know how you guys were, but if I got anything less than an A or A minus, like that was unacceptable to me. I'll never forget, in college, I graduated with a very solid GPA, but one of my first semesters, I got a C in some bullshit gen ed class, and I was so pissed about that. Like, I got A's, I got mostly A's all throughout college, but I got that one fucking C in that one fucking class. I graduated with a 3.6. I majored in actuarial science and I minored in mathematics. Really, the minor in mathematics was more getting the piece of paper that's hanging up here. I just had to take one more 400 level statistics class. It was a cakewalk. Greg, Black Oil, are you asking about ticker symbol CHEQ? We can take a look at that. Catalyst, I think you may have been asking about APE. We can take a look at that real quick. Let me get to couple TA questions, and then I'm going to check in on time. I want to stay on time today, which we're already over, so I'm doing a good job there. I need to hire an administrative assistant to keep me on track. Of course, that's a lot of overhead, and then I would have to pay this person. And so after giving that some serious consideration within the past 10 seconds, I'm actually thinking that's a horrible idea. This is a weekly view on Coinbase. Of course, I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. How can you tell I haven't looked at this chart in a long time? I have a lot of areas of support where price is no longer existent. So I have not charted APE in a while. Guys, I don't own any APE. Nothing against the project or anything. I don't own it. I'm not super familiar. I just knew it. Bored Apes and all that NFT stuff that I did not purchase any Bored Apes. All right, and we got the ape coin. Wow, this is a nasty looking chart. Wow, this is bad looking. All right, couple things. First off, not a lot of price data for the weekly. I would prefer to go to a 3-day here. I'm going to point out an area of support that I want to see hold, and if it doesn't, we're just going to continue going lower. What's the low here? 181. Where the hell are we at right now? Oh, wow, that's right on. Okay. Where are we at in price? 185. Oh, wow. So here's the first important thing, Catalyst, that I would point out on ticker symbol APE. And if you can't spell the word ape, if you're forgetting how to spell that word, I feel bad for you. If we break 181, the really negative thing about that, the bearish thing is there's no price data down here. So if we start breaking below $1.81, I can't tell you where price is going to stop. It could go 2 pennies lower. It could go 20 cents lower. It could go 50% lower. Like you have no price data here. So we're hanging out in no man's land if we're down. You know that expression, no man's land? We're hanging out in no man's land if we break $1.81. So keep your fingers and your toes crossed. The 181 does not break if you're an investor because you don't want to see that shit. Let's get some areas of resistance that we're going to battle with. Pretty clean to see the areas of resistance. I mean, at least I can quickly identify some areas of price confluence here. I like the charts where it's really easy to read right away. And the other thing is when you've been charting for a while, you tend to pick up these areas of price confluence pretty quickly. If you're a newer chartist, don't feel bad if it just takes you some time to like pick up on this stuff, because I'm actually going to move this down because of the wick. It just takes some time. I mean, I've been charting since 2016, so I've been doing this for 7 years. So this stuff kind of comes pretty quickly to me. All right, these are the main areas I want to talk about here. The other thing I would point out, which is rather, I would draw it. Sorry, I feel like half the time I come on here I have a stuffy nose. I would probably draw it like that. So, you know, we have this area of descending resistance, right, Catalyst? We have this area of descending resistance. We need to pop our head above here. Now, the other thing that you have going on at the same time as you have the descending resistance, as we start to come up towards the descending resistance, we have two major areas that we have to battle with. Look at this price wick. This wick with volume, with the story that is telling me, okay, with both volume and volatility in the price wick, a lot of buyer exhaustion. A lot of sellers came in, okay? We came all the way up to this area, heavy selling, buyer exhaustion, and came down. Around 234 is going to be a major area of resistance. That's coming in around the same level as the descending area of resistance. This whole zone is going to be a major area around 234 and 261 or 260. We'll keep it stupid simple. Once we start popping our head above 260, come back to the channel. Come back to the channel and let's have a conversation about ticker symbol APE, ApeCoin. But until we get above 260, I'm not really interested. All right, what else we got? Kathleen, have I neglected you? Because I don't recall. Apologize, Kathleen. I didn't realize that I didn't answer this question last time. Sometimes what you guys need to understand is I get so caught up talking about stuff, I get sidetracked. So you may have asked the question before and I totally get sidetracked. Did we not look at TEL? Really? Well, we've definitely looked at it before. Black oil, give me one moment here. Let me get to Telcoin, and then we're going to get to check, all right? I promise you. Let's go to, wow, there's a lot of price data here. Let's go to, I know a lot of people talk about this project, Telcoin. Look at this descending area of resistance here. I know a lot of people talk about this project. I personally am not in it. I've never owned any, but a lot of people talk up this project. I've seen it on Twitter quite a bit. Now, in terms of structure, do I like this chart? I just want to give a general observation on ticker symbol TEL. This is on KuCoin Exchange. I don't know if I'm looking at the right exchange for price data, but we're just going to stick with it because it looks like I've assessed this before. And by the way, Kathleen, I have areas of price confluence drawn out here, so I don't know that we have anything really to add. On the one hand, I like the chart. I mean, I love the... after the downtrend here, we had a major surge up. Now we've just gotten some consolidation in here. No, I like the chart. I like the chart. I I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's an average chart. Well, let me look at the price indicators before I say 7 out of 10. Maybe I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now the reason I say that is because as price is down sort of in this region, decreasing in value, staying stagnant, I see this stochastic RSI starting to tick up. Also looks like we're starting to see just a little bit of bullish divergence on the chart. And the MACD here looks like it may want to start to curl up. So I like what I'm seeing on the price indicators on the weekly, Kathleen, okay? But, I mean, what do you think I'm going to say here? Well, first off, areas of support, I already have it drawn out, Kathleen. We don't want to break this area here. I'll draw it like that, actually. We don't want to break this level. Why do we not want to break this level? Because this was our low back in 2022. So I'm fine double bottoming. I mean, this has created a higher low. Someone could actually argue that this is a double bottom, that this low right here, while it is a higher low, it's close enough to here that it essentially double bottomed. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, but it is technically higher. It's a higher low. But really, Kathleen, I mean, it's pretty easy to see what's going on in the charts here. You know, we have an area of descending resistance here. We need to break above. Once we break above, you could draw a couple areas of price confluence here, but I think the two major ones, I think without question, looking at this chart, the two major areas of zones of resistance is going to be right in this area, okay? Right in this area. So once we break downward resistance, you know, it wouldn't shock me to come down and backtest. We may not, though. Continue to push up. And it looks like this 0.00324 and 0.0044. It sounds like I'm reading an AD&D manual rate right now. I was just doing an AD&D manual rate review. Are we talking about monthly employee rates per thousand, or are we talking about Telcoin? But no, once we break out of this descending area of resistance, we have my major zones of resistance here, right? We need to start clearing this area. Kathleen, for me, I'm not interested in really... I don't think a charting update on this one makes sense, okay, until we start pushing above 3.24 cents. I'm just going to call it 3.24 cents, but I think you catch my drift. It's the 0.00. The 3.24 cent to 4.4 cent area. Come back to the channel with a question on tell once we start to clear this area. But until then, I don't really, yeah, it's not piquing my interest. Or not piquing my, I shouldn't say that. Until then, there won't be a material development. That's what I want to say. Until then, it doesn't make sense to provide a charting update until we start getting up in this area. But I like what I'm seeing in the price indicators. This thing could pop. It's a lower market cap. It could pop. I think it's a lower. I'm pretty sure it's a lower market cap. It could pop hard. What else we got? Cheek. Never heard of this one before. Where are you pulling this out of, Black Oil? Cheek. Are you getting this from Pancake Swap? Come on, my friend. Come on. What is this? Oh, Lord. Really? Come on now. What's the market cap ranking on this? 5,630? 941. All right. It's within the top 1,000. All right. I won't give you a hard time. What the hell is this thing? I mean, you could apparently go into negative prices. I've literally never seen that in my life. I don't even know how to interpret that. This is below zero. Oh, one all the way to zero? I don't know. This is... Oh, my God. Wow, this is horrendous. All right. Okay. Let's go to a daily, although it doesn't look like that's going to be helpful. Let's go to a 3-day. Okay, Greg. Black Oil, you are lucky that I value your support, because this is a shitty chart. All right. Actually, in all honesty, if you remove, in all seriousness, Greg, if you remove this red volatility bar here, this really isn't that bad. It's just that there's not a lot of volume in here, obviously, being traded. I mean, you can look at the volume up there in terms of, okay. So what would I see? What do I see on Cheek? Ticker symbol CHEQ. I see an area of support right around there. I see an area of support. Jesus. mean, I'm just going to draw it there. I mean, this thing's so volatile. I don't want to lose this area of support, Greg. Okay, let's maintain this area of support. If we start to lose this level, there's an increased probability, a much higher probability we could go all the way down to 2.5 cents, 2.5, 2.6 cents. Okay, we also, this is kind of, you know, this looks like a rounding bottom. Now, this might be a good trade setup. Let's see if we see some bullish divergence coming in here. This looks like we may have some sort of rounding bottom for a spike up. Now, these things, these low market caps, you know, if you know how to trade them and you just put a small amount, guys, small amount of capital, yeah, you can make some decent trades here. But you have to be very aggressive in your and your profit-taking strategy, fumbling around with my words, but profit-taking strategy. Areas of resistance, I'm going to look for bullish divergence on this because I'm going to take a guess. I'm just going to take a guess that as price has been consolidating in here, there's bullish divergence. That's my guess. We'll see if I'm correct. Again, I've just evaluated too many of these charts. Good to see. Furthermore, if there's bullish divergence, we're starting to break out from this descending resistance here. That's good to see. Greg, you might have a good little short-term trade setup here. Look at you, look at you. You're blossoming, young grasshopper. You're blossoming. Blossoming into a TA veteran. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now. I'm a little on sleep, Black Oil, so please don't listen to anything I'm saying right now. There's a zone of resistance right here. Now you can see that takes us to about, really it's this zone. You guys know I don't like to get too cute on this channel, especially with volatile assets. You know, you got to create a zone of confluence. So this looks like it's between 4.3 and 4.5 cents. You're welcome, Kathleen. You're welcome. Okay, now, main thing I'm looking for is there bullish divergence? Yes, there is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, there is. Let me show you the bullish divergence. Did I not say there would be bullish divergence? Pretty sure I called that out, right? Again, when you've charted these things for a long enough period of time, you just recognize things. So what I recognize is this thing is in a downtrend, and it's broken the downtrend. It looks like it's forming a rounding bottom, and now we've been chopping sideways in here. And I told myself, hey, I've seen enough of these trade setups that oftentimes when this pattern is present, we're going to see bullish divergence on the RSI. And, you know, sure as shit, look at the RSI. Now, just because we broke the trend line, you see how we broke the trend line here with this move here? It doesn't mean that the bullish divergence is void. Look, we're still, I want to convey this point very clearly. If you had, and this is important just from an educational standpoint, guys, if you want to learn something about bullish divergence, don't tune out, listen for a moment. This is valid when you have it drawn like this. You see how the bullish divergence, you see how the RSI is moving up as price is going like this? Well, all of a sudden we broke right here. Does that invalidate the bullish divergence? No. And the reason is because we haven't gone below this level, right? We started here with the bullish divergence, right? Price action was here. The RSI was at 37. We've still moved up, right? The RSI is all the way up at 41. We started at 37. We went up to 41, and price is at the same level, if not lower, okay? There's still bullish divergence in this chart. So Greg, a.k.a. Black Oil, this is a good trade setup, in my opinion, if you want to, if I were to put a little bit of capital, if I were to throw, like, for me, like, I don't know, like $100 at this thing. I wouldn't put a lot of money into this. Maybe I throw $100 at it or something. But good trade setup. All right, guys. That is going to do it for the live stream. Don't know what the hell that was. I'm going to get some sleep because I feel a little off. I'm acting a little weird, so I'm going to make myself some dinner. And I'm going to continue. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue reading the Coin Chartist newsletter because I still have about a third of that to go. I would highly encourage you guys to check out Tony's newsletter that I had tweeted about. Very, very, very good information. I will be back tomorrow. As always, I'll be in all week. Just make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. I may experiment here and there with trying different times during the day if my schedule allows for it, just to see what the engagement is like at different points during the day. Yes, I strive for consistency to go live at the same point. There's a lot of value in that. But as a newer daily live streamer, I'm also trying to feel out what works best for the audience. So I may try some different times. So appreciate the engagement, guys. Remain patient. We will be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow to discuss the monthly closes. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. If there's any live stream to catch during the week, I actually think tomorrow will be the most value-added live stream because we're going to do monthly closes, which is monumentally important to assess the market. So, guys, Ugos, Greg, Kathleen, everybody else, thank you very much for the support. Have a nice evening, afternoon, or morning. And until next time, spread awareness and let's all carry the education forward. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day.